constraint annotation allows us to specify the concrete class that's actually providing the validation. And then it can also, for example, define some things like the groups that the validation should apply with. That allows you to restrict when a validation is applied, so it's not just applied globally. And you will also find, if you look at some, that constraints are composed so that you can say this constraint is composed of more than one constraint. So an example of that would be the not empty constraint, where you can see that what you can do is effectively chain validators. So this validator says that, okay, it does this not empty validation, but it also applies the not null validator and the size minimum 1 validator in order to create this validator. So you can easily build up validators from components. The final thing I wanted to point out on our domain model is that we have decided to, in general, we're trying to not use the synthetic ID for the identity of the object. We're trying to use a natural identifier. There's a big discussion about the right way to do this, but essentially, if you think when you're using a system like Hibernate and you create objects, the first time, for example, you create the object, it doesn't have a synthetic identifier assigned by the database. It just has a null object or null entry there, or a 0 if you're using primitives. So you can't compare you can't use the equals method, you can't use hash codes, you can't put the object in the set until that identity has been given by the database. So it's really good to not, or it's important to not use that synthetic ID as your as the identity of the object. So we have always gone through and identified the fields that make up the natural